Chilingo has been publishing some amazing 2D platformers lately, so I was really looking forward to this week's release of NyxQuest Kindred Spirits from developer Over the Top Games. My name's Tony from the Classically Gaming and Electronic podcast, and today I'm reviewing NyxQuest HD for the Apple iPad. Now this game was released last year by Over the Top Games on the PC. It was also ported to WiiWare and now the iOS platform. So let's take a look at this platformer and see how it fares with the HD iPad treatment. First of all, to the story. Now this game takes place during the time of mythical gods. There is a character named Icarus who loves flying and can fly, and he flies so high he discovers a kingdom among the clouds. He also discovers a female being named Nyx who has wings. They sort of fall in love, or just, you might be able to say, form an amazing friendship. But the problem is, Nyx is from the heavens and Icarus is from the earth. Earth was becoming intolerable, blazing sands, the heat god was destroying it, and Icarus falls from the heavens to his doom. Well, Nyx decided to head to the earth, disobeying the gods, in search of Icarus, because as the title would suggest, they are kindred spirits. Now, as far as the gameplay is concerned, this game features a straight-up single-player release, no features outside of the single-player campaign, and it's a direct port of earlier versions, so you play across 12 levels to reunite with your friend Icarus. Although it's only a single-player game with one mode, I should point out the levels are quite long, so you should not be concerned that it is a short game. Getting to actually playing the game, as I mentioned earlier, this is a 2D platformer. It's not your typical fast-paced, weapons-based platformer. If there's one word I could use to describe this platforming experience, it would be peaceful. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. Peaceful. Now, it might sound awkward to you, but that's what I picked up from playing this title. It's very laid-back, puzzle-based platforming that just kind of moves at its own pace, and it's very well peaceful. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. As I mentioned, you play as Nyx, and you're equipped with only your wings, a gliding ability, and the power of the gods. Now, Nyx never carries a weapon in the game. All she can do is jump and glide as a character. She actually blows the double jump out of the water because she can jump up to 5 times in a single bound, and actually has a jump meter with 5 feathers in the top left, 1 for each jump so you can keep track. Nyx can also glide. Once you jump, you can hold in the button to glide for some time with your wings. And there's a blue glide meter that appears to give you a fix of how long you'll last in the air. In addition, you'll have to access the power of the gods. Throughout the game, you're going to encounter different gods, such as Zeus, for example, who will allow you to move objects such as fireballs or pillars, which you can use to solve puzzles or destroy enemies. And you do this with simple touch controls. There are also boss battles, which are impressive, and you work to defeat them in pattern-based modes. NyxQuest doesn't rely too heavily on any one type of platforming. It's a good balance of action, puzzle solving, and strategy. Graphically, I was very impressed with the character models, the storyboard for the cutscenes, and the bosses. The art style and colors for these were fantastic. I did feel like the backgrounds were somewhat repetitive though, even though they change occasionally. They really kind of overdid the scorched earth theme, and I would have liked to see some more alive backgrounds. As far as controls, they overall worked really well. It's simple left and right arrow to move on the left side of the screen to move your character, and a one-wing jump button. You tap to jump and you hold to glide. Fireballs and such are controlled by touching and dragging them anywhere on the screen, so you don't really use your character for that. My only complaints with the controls are when you're in certain locations on the screen. For example, and you need to move a block with the power of Zeus, if it's behind your wing button or your jump button, your character will start doing those motions instead of moving the block. It is only occasional, but it did pop up from time to time and was sort of frustrating. The sound was really good, and it does have the soundtrack of composer Stephen Guthnines, who is very impressive. He is actually a film composer, so I really liked the soundtrack of the game. The sound effects, on the other hand, were not that impressive. For example, the gods just kind of mumble this like brrr kind of voice when they're telling you what to do, and it would have been easy just to do a voiceover and have like a strong godlike voice. In conclusion, NyxQuest Kindred Spirits HD for the iPad is a very good platformer, but it definitely operates at its own pace. It does a great job of including puzzle elements, boss battles, and more, and has a good love story tied into the mix. In addition, you have 12 long, challenging levels, so you're going to get a lot of gameplay out of NyxQuest. If you're looking for a new platformer to keep you busy on your iPad, the good definitely outweighs the bad in this review, and you can pick up NyxQuest HD for $2.99 in the App Store today. Thank you so much. Once again, this has been Tony from the Classic Elite Podcast. Check out our gaming podcast at ClassicElite.com, and make sure you like us on Facebook.com/ClassicElite.